Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and here are 20 through hiking tips in 6 minutes. If you have a Sawyer water filter, then you can replace the large syringe that comes with it with a small sports cap. You need to press it against the clean end of the water filter, turn it upside down and press as hard as you can. It doesn't work as well as the syringe, but it gets most of the bad stuff out. Instead of drying your socks like this, the best thing that you can do is put them overnight underneath your shirt. That's because your body temperature is hot enough to dry the socks overnight. Whereas if I just leave them over here, they wouldn't be completely dry in the morning. If you're new to hiking in the mountains and you need to do a mountain pass, definitely do it in the afternoon because there's a risk of thunderstorms and they usually happen between 12 to 4 p.m. And you don't want to be stuck in an open area like that whenever that happens. Over time, hollow fiber membrane water filters, just like this one, get clogged up from calcium and other minerals, which decreases the flow rate very much. But the good news is that you can restore it back to optimal levels by soaking it in vinegar water. You need to fill up a bowl with hot water and vinegar at a ratio of 5:1 and keep your water filter in there for about 1 hour. After 1 hour, you need to backflush your water filter with all the vinegar water that's left inside the bowl, and the flow rate should return back to optimal levels. When through hiking, you need to get a lot of calories, but eating just junk food isn't really good for you. The best option that I've found so far is to use unsaturated fats, which have a lot of calories and are good for you. In the mornings, I usually add peanut butter or nuts to my foods to get a lot of unsaturated fats and calories. And in the evenings, I add olive oil to my food because it also contains a lot of unsaturated fats. Dehydrated meals are very expensive, especially if you're making them every evening. I've found that a simpler solution is just to use different food that is available in the local stores. For the carbs, I use either couscous or quinoa or pasta or something similar. For getting protein, the best solution by far is to use texturized soy because it's very, very lightweight and it contains a lot of protein, or to eat meat if you eat meat. And so that your food doesn't taste very bland, buy some salt, pepper, and some spices ahead and just add them to your meals. Another tip is to bring at least 10 Ziploc bags because you can transfer all of your food in there when you exit the store and you won't need to bring all the packaging that comes with it. One way to stay healthy is to buy a lot of fruits and veggies and eat them just before you leave a town. This way you won't have to carry a lot of excess weight. Even if you don't like listening to headphones, just bring them with you because you sometimes need to stay in a shelter and sleep next to other people. And if they are snoring very loudly, headphones are definitely a lifesaver. Instead of using water pouches, just use regular bottles of water. One of the bottles is meant for storing all the clean water and the second one for dirty water, where I can screw on the water filter, turn it upside down and filter if necessary. If one of the bottles breaks or becomes too worn down, I can replace them very easily at pretty much any convenience store. To fix problems with your gear, all you need is some seam grip, a bit of duct tape, some tooth floss, and a needle. You can fix almost any problem with this, including leaking sleeping pads and tents or holes in your down jacket like this one. If you'll be through hiking in the summer, you don't need an inflatable sleeping pad. You can just bring a foam one. It's much more lighter, you can attach it to the exterior of your backpack, and when you're sleeping, it's also much quieter. But the best part about it is that you can lay on it whenever you're taking a rest. Trekking poles are definitely a necessity if you're hiking in the mountains. They help with stability when hiking on technically difficult terrains, for instance snow or rocks. It's also easier to walk uphill with them, but they're super beneficial for walking downhill because you can relieve some stress from your knees and you won't develop knee pain. Also, if you encounter shepherd dogs or wild animals, you have something to protect yourself with. If you'll be through hiking in a summer and you have a down jacket that has a hood, you don't need to bring a beanie because you can just bring a regular cap and wear it together with your hood, and it's just as warm. But one thing that you do need to bring is a pair of small gloves. Every person that I met on the trail that didn't bring a pair of gloves ended up regretting it. I would also recommend bringing a small journal and a pen because it helps you to stay off your phone. You can write all the things that you will need to buy at the shop and all the gear problems and other important things, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. To keep your gear dry in rain, instead of using a rain cover for your backpack, as well as several smaller dry sacks, just use one large dry sack. For dealing with various problems with your shoes, you need to learn to do a surgeon's knot. You do that by tying your shoes regularly like this and then looping it through another time. And that's it. That's a surgeon's knot. This knot is very useful because it's very tight and it doesn't untie by itself. Here's a lacing technique if your shoes feel too tight around the toe box. Start by untying the shoe and skipping the first 2 loops. Do a surgeon's knot. Do another surgeon's knot and finish off by tying your shoes normally. Now the toe box feels very loose and my fingers aren't cramped up anymore, and the top part of the shoe is very tight and nothing moves around. Here's a lacing technique if your ankle is moving up and down. You start by untying the first 2 laces. Do a surgeon's knot. Instead of crossing your laces, tie your laces on the same side to create a loop on each side like this. Now cross the laces and put them underneath the loop on the opposite end. Tighten everything together and do a surgeon's knot. In the end, you should have a shoe that's very tight around the ankle and not too tight around the toe box. When making this video, I actually wrote down 50 through hiking tips. So I guess my question is, should I make a part 2 with another 20 tips? Please let me know down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Bye!